Weekly show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. The Cincinnati Bengals weekly show is now brought to you by Manscaped. Use the promo code TGT20 to make your balls happy, Joe.
Yeah.
Yes. But we got Breeds. We got to do starting next week. So Ty's supposed to be a comedian, so I'm sure it'll be right up his alley. So let me welcome in my co-host, as always. We got Joe Kelly, number 58 from the 1988 Bengals when the Bengals didn't suck. How you doing, Joe?
Doing good, man. Doing good, man. It's been, the interesting week. We, I totally picked the Browns to whoop us pretty good. So, I can accept the pie in the face because, Joe Burrows, he played his butt off, man. Kept us in the game. But unfortunately, I say based on calls, defensive calls, being beat by alignment, put us in a bad and continuous bad situations, and as a result, they were able to come back with 1:06, no timeouts, and terrible play on the touchdown, terrible. Positioning by the cornerback Phillips, but it was a tough loss. And as a result, you're seeing a lot of uproar, specifically Carlos Dunlap, and we've seen what the result of that. So it's a lot going on down there, man. Down at Paul Brown Stadium, brother.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's much going on except bad. And I want to welcome in my other co-host, Ty Robbins. How you doing, Ty?
What's going on, Bengal Nation? Another rough one, man. I think the one thing we should adopt as Bengal fans is a terrible towel. I don't think Pittsburgh should have it. I think we should have it as much crying as we had to do in these last 2 years. Yeah. Because 16 seconds left. Come on. It was somebody called me up, one of my friends, when there was 1:06, like Joe said. He goes, "Hey, I think we got this." I go, "It's 1:06. That's a lot of time." And sure enough, they found a way.
6 seconds is too much time if you're a Bengals fan. And I don't know why any Bengals fan would cry because we've been losing since Joe left in 1999.
No, it's rough, Joe. It's rough. But, every year,
it's rough.
This is it. And then they went out and spent a lot of money on free agency, and most of those guys are hurt. And then if we didn't fix the line, which became a huge problem in the beginning of the year. And all that said, we're still in almost every game except the Ravens game. So the problem
you know what, Ty? It's the NFL. Almost everybody's in every game. The difference between a good team and a bad team is a good team wins those games. After this game, Carlos Dunlap, basically put his house up for sale. And now, Ty, we had a trade for B.J. Finney from the Seattle Seahawks. So what do you think of the trade?
I think it can't hurt. You know what I mean? He played solid for the Steelers, and they thought he was going to start at Seattle, which he didn't. But, we're looking at what we have right now. We have to figure a way to keep Burrow from getting hurt. We got Finney coming in. It looks like we're going to sign Quentin Spain, and Xavier's coming back as well. The problem is they're not coming back this week. So this week's going to be kind of rough. We don't know if Jonah Williams is going to play yet. Hart is out. Price is your center. And really, let's say Price got really lucky last week because nobody was over center, and he still fumbled the ball. So we'll see how he's got, I'm really concerned about Burrow this week and see what kind of pressure. I don't know if Clowney's going to play. He's still on the injury reserve list over there for the Titans. But we'll see. I'm hoping that once we get through this game, we have a bye week. We have 2 weeks to get these new guys acclimated, and we'll see what happens. And hopefully we put a line together and hopefully get Big Joe Mixon running again, because I think he's going to be out this week as well.
All right, Joe, B.J. Finney, basically one team's trash is going to be Bengal trash now. I don't see how this helps. I mean, when you look at B.J. Finney, he's a guy getting beaten out by undrafted free agent and practice squad players.
Yeah. Well, I think that shows their desperation. it shows their desperation, and then it shows lack of guidance, lack of leadership. Because if you, as a head coach, you come into this organization with some pretty solid guys, some pretty reputable guys throughout the league. Carlos Dunlap being one, and in your mind, if you say that 96 is the problem, I'm going to support the Bengals. I'm all about Who Dey Nation. But Zach Taylor, his defensive coordinator, as far as my opinion, my honest opinion, they can kiss my black, because at the end of the day, you're looking at here. I just don't like when you take a guy and you trash his whole what this dude did for 11 years. You trash him. Was it helpful on his behalf to put it up there and take it? No, but there's frustration. Things happen. And then, as far as I'm concerned, to pinpoint your problems on him, and then even your lack of belief in Geno Atkins, because Geno Atkins still he's it's in their scheme. He's still he's not a full-time player. I mean, he's playing 50%, 60% of the snaps. He's healthy now. So, you're looking at.
He played 12 snaps this last week,
Oh, wow. Well, I
12 snaps play.
Wow. So that right there.
And he played almost half of those at nose. Yeah, he played almost half those snaps at nose tackle.
And you look at the guys. Okay, here, our biggest free agent signing, he's hurt. And the guys they have in there, come on, man. I think Sir Covington, man, these guys are lucky to be on NFL rosters. And you are talking about, Pro Bowl players and Atkins and Dunlap that you have these guys playing in front of. And like I said, by design, from game one, I seen what they were doing to Dunlap. And I knew it was a two-gap hit, read, and then react. You got a defensive end. I'm a pass rusher, and you want me to go straight. I'm going right up in the middle of the offensive tackle, reading, and then I'm trying to, when everybody else, every other defensive end, they're coming, they're going off that corner, and making that offensive tackle, making them lean, getting him off balance. But when you're saying here, this is the read and react kind of defense that you're doing, man. It just shows the lack of coaching experience in this with this group, and a lack of really the ability to get these guys to mesh. Because I think with what we had going into the season, there was no doubt in my mind that these guys could play together. You mix the old guys with the new guys, and allow these guys who've been leaders. Dunlap and Atkins been leaders, man, and not necessarily Atkins is not a leader by what he says. Atkins is, he's a leader by, I'm just going to go out, and he's one of those guys, I'm just going to go out and let my play speak for myself. And it's just unfortunate. Carlos did allow, he allowed his frustration to show, and in today's social media world, that's not something that you could do. It wasn't the best thing for the team, and the best thing for him to put himself in a shade light now, and to diminish what he's accomplished, what he did accomplish in 11 years. So there's some disgruntled guys down there. When you I don't care what you say. When you play with a guy, you play with this guy for 11 years, 7-8 years, and he's treated like that, it affects you. It may not affect the younger guys, but it affects those core guys, no doubt.
All right, we've got a few comments. I haven't read it yet, so hopefully it's clean.
Yeah.
Hold on. As soon as I can get it to show.
Yeah. You got Mr. Andy Stevens.
It's because I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated how Carlos's career comes to an end here in Cincinnati. No way it should have come to this. Coaching staff must have mistreated him. There we go in Cincinnati. No way it should. The thing is this, Joe. This is not the time we've seen this. We saw this all the way back in the early 90s, mid-90s with Carl Pickens, who I think was one of the best receivers in the NFL. He got tired of this. He left. Corey Dillon got tired. He left. Carson Palmer got tired of the crap. He left. Now we see it with Carlos Dunlap. And Geno probably wants to get the hell out of here. 12 plays for Geno Atkins, and you're not even playing him in his position that he's best at.
Yeah. And it's the guys that you have playing that speaks volume. I mean, if you had even if DJ Reader was here and he was healthy and he's playing like he played in Houston, you can say, okay, at least the guy that they have playing, he's in there kicking ass. But these guys are guys, and I'm not even saying that they are guys that are making plays. They are guys that they're taking up a position. That's out. These guys are not making an impact. These guys are no offensive scheme. On that defensive line, there's no offensive scheme that's coming and looking at these guys and fear either one of them. We don't have to double team them. We're not going to have to scheme these guys. We're going to continue. We're going to do what we do best and attack them, run at them, and rush for over 200 yards.
No way do I think that Geno
Well, we made another comment. Hold on here. You got to hear this one because this one. I'm talking to Ty. All right. This is from Scott Wilson, who is generally very annoying on Facebook as a Bengals fan. But he says, say what you want about Zach Taylor. At least he's doing something about the O-line. Trading for O-line would never have happened under Lewis. 2009 Bengals scored 23-plus points 3 times, 20, already 5 times. We must have patience.
Ty?
You want me to take that? Thanks. Yeah, I want to go back to Geno. No way do I think Geno's healthy. I think they put him down on third downs, and even out of shape Geno is going to put pressure. Baker had no pressure, none. He just sat there and had a field day. And I don't care who you are or how bad you are. If you have a pocket and you can sit down there, you could shred anybody. So I don't think Geno's all the way healthy. I don't know the whole situation with that. But even he just isn't doing much. So usually, even double teams, he's coming off. Geno certainly makes plays, and he's not doing it. As far as making a difference with the offense, I think they're moving stuff around. I thought the offensive line played a lot better than they did the week before. Even when Jonah went out and Johnson came in, I got really nervous. I'm not going to lie when I seen Hopkins, get switched and we put Price in the middle. I started to sweat a little bit. But like I said, there was nobody over him, so all he has to do is come up and look around and hit somebody. I felt like there wasn't as many unblocked guys coming in. I think some of the calls were a lot better, like a lot of trick plays that I haven't seen before that, they go, okay, well, let's try something different. So I thought the offense played fairly well. The problem, especially if you pass for over 400 yards, the problem with this whole situation is nobody's in sync. When the offense is off playing really well, the defense stinks. And when the, offense is on time, the defense, or when the defense is having a good day, offense is off. So nobody's in sync there. And that comes down to coaching, I really believe. So we'll see, Mr. Wilson, if they can make changes after the bye, not this week, my friend.
Well, they can't make decisions or changes during the game or at halftime, so I'm not holding out much hope bye week, Joe.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's still we're still frustrated with the fact that here we continuously see the other teams make adjustments. They're making adjustments from first quarter to second quarter, and they're definitely making adjustments after halftime. And we are still. I don't know if it's just. The feeling that, coach said, okay, here, if I change and I adapt and I change my defense, then people are going to start second guessing me and say, well, here, what am I running? So we're trying to run this, whatever the defensive coordinator, whatever, I don't know what he's trying to run, but whatever he's in, he's too stubborn to say here, oh, let me change, let us adapt. And when you're talking about, they say lack of pressure. When you have your defensive ends and even in your interior guys, when it's a read and react thing, there's no way you can get pressure on the passer. When you have your guys, your interior guys and your defensive ends, when they are told to read and react, and that was a lot of frustration with Carlos Dunlap. Speaking with a couple people, you're saying, okay, here as a defensive end, I'm gonna come off the ball, grab this guy, read and react. You can't do that and expect pressure on a quarterback. And as a result, you can see, an average guy like Mayfield go down and with a minute and 6 with no timeouts, and score. In regards to, at least Zach is doing something. Well, he has no choice. And to bring anybody, any offensive line, anybody right now could not do worse than what we're doing. I'm gonna say you have to give so much credit to that rookie who had no preseason camp, no mini camp, none of that, and he's coming. And when I say that this guy is on another level, the things that he's doing, the reads that he's making, because he's still, even when we say, okay, here they blocked okay, he's still getting hit on 3-step drops. He still got hit. He still got pressure. But some of his throws and the reads that this kid is making, just imagine, if we do go out and we invest and we get 2 more quality NFL guys, what Joe Burrows is going to look like. And right now, you look, I mean, he's as far as the quickest guy to the amount of yardage that he has, the touchdowns, FedEx player of the week. This kid is special, man. And I think, if he stays healthy, we potentially, you don't want to say it's really too early to talk about the gold jacket, but he has a gold jacket aura about himself. And he's making this awful, god-awful line look average when they are, blocking.
Yeah, the offensive line still sucks, Ty. And I don't think it was really that much better. I think Cleveland is basically Myles Garrett, and that's it. I will tell you this. I actually thought Bobby Hart played better. The other thing that sticks to my mind is Fred Johnson is naturally a tackle. It's where he played in college.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the Bengals wanted to try to make him a guard. Maybe it's because, wanted to show us what a good off coach he is, but he's not. My concern is Jonah Williams, I have been beyond unimpressed with, and he was the number one to save this. If Jonah Williams is, that means we've used picks on him, Cedric Wayhe, Jake Fisher, all these guys, first or second offensive. Right now, if the Bengals had a scouting department, the Bengals would be a Super Bowl contender with Joe Burrow. Of course, if they would have had the scouting department, though, they probably wouldn't have Joe now because they wouldn't have been picking number 1. But when you look at this, it's concerning to me that since basically Willie Anderson, they've whiffed on every first and second round offensive line pick they've made, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, but we talked about it, and we'll continue to talk.
Hell, Levi Jones and Andre Smith. Don't let me forget them.
Yeah, but it still goes back to your scouting. You could have there are great college players that don't transcend to the NFL. Have great careers. It's an adjustment, and how can a team, Pittsburgh Steelers, let's take them and what they have. How can they continuously find guys in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round and develop these guys? It's coaching. It's coaching. And when you go out and you scout a guy, you took a Wayhe who had he blew his knee up, and you still picked him number 1. Just that alone would you go, hey, let me look at some guys that maybe look close to him, and you look at the guys throughout the league that were drafted when they drafted Wayhe and Fisher. Guys, there are guys that got drafted a lot later than them that are doing great in the NFL, and we're going to continue to pick guys, and when you pick guys, you pick a Joe Burrows. You're hoping that he's as good as advertised, and he is. when you get an AJ Green who is good as advertised, you find a Jim and Geno Atkins. Those are just, you're rolling the dice, and that's what they're doing. They're not going out and they're not scouting. Their scouting department is Mel Kiper and ESPN, and reading all the clippings, and not actually going out and see how good these guys are on a weekly basis and practice and they're at their colleges, and all those things, all those necessary things that all the other teams are doing.
All right, Mr. Andy Steve says Zeitler was a quality pick. I agree there, but I also believe this. I believe with a quality offensive line coach, Zeitler would have been even better. And when you talk about the Steelers, you got Sean Sarrett, who's the offensive line coach there. But before him was Mike Munchak. And the thing about this, continuity in the staff, Munchak hired Sarrett to be the assistant offensive line coach in 2012. So everybody on this offensive line in Pittsburgh has had the same coach for 10 years.
Yeah.
So, and Mr. Andy Steve brings up the fact that Kirkpatrick was kind of a turd being the 17th pick, but so was Darquez Dennard, who was number 21. And you go on, we could go over to history from 1990 to now with nothing but bad draft picks.
Yeah. It's bad draft picks, it's bad coaching, because I can tell
bad
you
ownership.
But if you have some of the guys that didn't develop, if you had Coach McNally, offensive line coach that was with the Bengals when I was here, I guarantee you from when you looked at Bruce Reimers, when you looked at Kozerski, when you looked at some of Joe Walters. Joe Walters was what, eighth round pick, 6th round pick. When you look at those guys didn't have the accolade that Wahey and all those. You went and found those guys, but then you got developed by one of the greatest offensive line coach in the NFL. So that plays a part, because when I look at it and say, okay, here, you look at 1990, and you look at the draft picks and all the guys who didn't make it were considered busts, so on and so forth. When you get to an organization and there is no leadership, there's terrible coaching, and that player is not taught. That player doesn't have the ability or the opportunity to play next to a quality NFL guy that says, here, this is what the NFL is about. This is how you work. When I got to the league here, I thought I knew how to work out. I came from a reputable school, University of Washington. I didn't know how to work out until I got to the NFL, looking and working out with Reggie Williams and Leo Barker, and seeing the work it took for me to try to last 11 years. It's a different mindset. And a lot of guys, they're not, Kirkpatrick, decent at times, but who did he have? He had Pac-Man Jones as his mentor. Here, if you kept Zeitler in there, we kept Whitworth. If you kept those two guys, I guarantee you one of these guys are going to develop. One of these guys are going to develop because they're seeing Whitworth. They're seeing how he practiced. They're seeing what he does, when he studies. They're going to look at Zeitler. They're going to look at those guys, and it's contagious. There's no way that you can say that late 80s offensive line who arguably can be put up with some of the best offensive lines in NFL history. That if you looked at them on paper, prior to, other than Anthony Munoz and Max Montoya, everybody else, those guys were crapshoots. And then look at what Joe Walters did. Man, Joe Walters was playing as one of the best offensive tackles in the league.
Hey, Joe, how about this? When you talk about Anthony Munoz, I know he was drafted in the first round, but a lot of people thought that was a crapshoot because he was coming off an knee injury where his senior season, he didn't even play a game until the Rose Bowl. So that was a crapshoot. But Jim McNally coached him. And I think that's what it comes back to. Guys like Jim McNally, Howard Mudd, great offensive line coaches. And it seems like if you're coached by them, you've got a good offensive line. Even if the talent's not that good, he'll make them respectable. Yeah. We don't have that. Right now we get Jim Turner. It's an absolute joke he's still here. It's a joke Lou Anarumo's here. And hell, if it's a joke they're here, Shouldn't the guy that brought them in, shouldn't he be fired? This shit is old. I tell you, I would get rid of everybody on the staff right now, everybody, and I'd fire them all. We'd fire them all going into the bye week, and we'll just go find 5 or 6 high school coaches and pick them up, because I guarantee you this, there's 5 or 6 coaches in this area that could do a better job than what they do, because they play with no heart. There's no technique, Joe. I mean, hell, come on. They don't have any NFL experience hardly to be doing this, at least not at the level they're doing it. They're just friends. It's getting old. And when you got people like Scott who sent a message, be patient. What in the hell? I've been patient since I was born, Joe. I've been patient since 1990. I completely gave up in 2016. My patience is done. I'm not patient anymore because I don't care anymore. This has turned into me to apathy. I mean, I sit there. They take the lead with 1:06 left. Same thing. It always happens when me and my son are sitting on the couch watching. I look at him and said, we're going to lose, right? He said, yep. And then first thing you know, dude, they are at the end of this game, and they are up by a touchdown or a little. They got to keep them out of the end zone, and they're playing one safety. So we can sit there and blame the corner, but when they're spreading the field with 4 or 5 wide receivers, you're only playing one safety high. I mean, what in the hell are you doing there? They had no timeouts left. Let them throw the ball to the middle of the field.
Yes. I said that. You look that's what I'm talking about, Ty. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying you're beat by alignment. Based on what we that you came out in the perfect defense for them to run their offense and score with a minute and 6. That was a perfect defense. And when I say, there are so many times where we're beat by alignment. When they come out, they have multiple things that they can do to beat based on the call that we're. The guys, you got to play the coverage that's called. And if you see, how we were, here we had to stop them. Tackle them in the middle of the field. But we don't. It's not. We're not going to be successful saying, okay, here. Minute and 6. Let's give them 8-9 yards per reception. What? They'll be in field goal range. It's based on what it's like, Lou, what are you trying to do? You are putting your in my opinion, you're making your players look bad. And it's based on the calls. You have to play the call that the coaches sends in. You can try and make an adjustment, but their coach is smarter than our coach, and Ty, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and you add on no pressure. Like I said, there is no pass rush whatsoever. So when you have that, it's even harder on the D-backs to do their job. But like you said, they're wide open. Every game, close game I've watched, whether it be the Chargers, Philadelphia, these guys are wide open all the time. Like there's either blown coverage or I don't understand it. Like I said, I'm just a fan, but I look at it and I go, I don't understand how these guys are so wide open. And, at the end of the day, I guess, I was excited for Taylor to come in. I thought he was going to change the culture. He's getting guys that have character and, and strong work ethic, because I believe in strong work ethic. But then I get tired of hearing the same thing at press conferences. Our guys are buying in. They're doing it the right way. They're doing it the right way. They're doing it the right way. I don't need to hear that anymore. I need to see you finish a game. Our guys have to finish games, close ones. I think he leads the NFL in lost, the close games. Crazy. It's just crazy. It really is.
Yeah.
Hey, Ty, in my defense, first show last year, I told you this was going to happen.
You know what? Go ahead, Ty.
Listen, man. Look, at the end of the day, we got Burrow, and I'm telling you what.
Don't matter.
As bad as we play, though, listen to me. As bad as we play, the guy threw over 400 yards, Joe. So you're never really out of it. Even at the last, even with 3 3 seconds on the clock, 2 seconds on the clock. This guy throws a Hail Mary, and almost, if Green would have been in position, would have scored. Now, I'm not saying that we need to do that to win every game, but I'm just saying this guy will always put you in, and he's just getting started. We have to do our job and protect him, and we have to go out and spend some real money and just think if this guy can sit in the box and just sit there in the pocket and just unload on you, and he has the receiving core, you can put up a lot of points, and he's doing it with a bad offensive line. And money, because it really starts with the lines, both sides.
Wait, Ty, give me a second here, because this is my thing. Even with a below average offensive line, he can put up 30. Are people like putting the cart before the horse here by not mentioning the defense? Because if you have a defense that's extremely that is above average, Joe Burrow makes them even better by the pressure he can put on the other team's offense by scoring a lot. So the thing is, we need 5 offensive linemen, but we need about 11 defensive players too, and that's not even counting the depth. But this all comes back to the scouting department and Joe Burrow. We don't want Joe Burrow to be Archie Manning. Archie Manning was a great quarterback in the 1970s, but he was the New Orleans Saints, who never gave him an offensive line and never gave him a defense. But hey, Archie will keep us in every game. We're just not going to win any of them. And I mean, right now we are wasting him. And the other thing is this, Ty, this lasts a couple more years. Joe will want to get the hell out of here because Joe wants to win a Super Bowl. And if he doesn't, that can be done here. He gonna get tired of it, just like Carson did, just like Carlos did, just like Carl Pickens, Corey Dillon, and about 500 other guys that have played for the Bengals in the last 35 years. And that is my concern. So we sit there, we can be positive, we can score points. But, the 1985 Bengals scored a lot of points, lost a lot of games 48-44. Then they drafted guys like Joe. They had a great draft. They got 3 or 4 guys there. 86 had a really good draft. All of a sudden you had a defense. And then you won. So right now, I think everybody all we need is offensive linemen. To be a Super Bowl contender, they got to have a defense too. We saw the Kansas City Chiefs last year run up a lot of points on people, and they weren't that great until you get to week 11 when the defense figured.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Joe Burrow keeps us in the game. You can see that by he's like 5-2 with the spread. You know what I mean? So if you're a betting guy, but the defense can't. Every time the defense out there, let me just put it this way. When Joe's out there, I feel confident that we at least have a chance. We're going to go down the field. I have no faith in the defense. None. Like, I don't know what where everybody's yelling, we got to get these offensive linemen, but we keep rotating defensive guys, but nobody's doing a job, And we're in for a show because the Titans, their man can run. You know what I'm saying? He's going to put on a show. If the linebacker,
we ain't in for a show. We're in for an ass kicking. We're in.
I'm a fan. I just got to, you know what I mean? I got to be positive because I can't control Mike Brown. You know what I mean? I can't control what he does.
But you can control you being excited about stuff that's obviously going to end badly. The Bengals defense is like a 22-year-old alcoholic college girl. Everybody that wants to is going to score. They want.
Whoa.
Come on. The family show there. Goodpaster.
It is a family show. It's just, hey, you know what? There's nothing family about what we see every week. The only thing that's family is the Brown family.
Yeah.
And the Brown family is disgusting.
Yeah. You look at the fact that a good coaching staff. So everybody has to understand, here, everybody wanted change. Marvin, it ran its course. Let's say it ran its course. So here, somebody new, something new. So everything new is exciting. It's exciting because it's new. And we really didn't look into the details. You didn't look at the fine print. There's fine print in everything. You get an advertisement and it looks great. Oh man, it looks beautiful, but you got to read that fine print. So what the fine print didn't say, that the Bingo Nation and fans didn't see, that here we're hiring a coach with absolutely no head coaching experience on any level. We're hiring a head coach that has not ever been an offensive coordinator on any level. He brings in guys, and he's hiring guys. A defensive coordinator, never been a coordinator on any level. You see, his coaching staff, nepotism. These are guys that he played. Where did he go? Western Michigan, one of those Eastern Michigan schools. So you look at that. So understanding here, were we awful? No. Were we the Cleveland Browns? No. You know, we had AJ, we had a core. So here you look at that. So a good coach comes in. Let me look at my strength. And okay, here, what do we need? We need linemen. You know, so here, let's get it. We need some interior guys. We need some DBs. We need some linebackers. And you go in and you scout. You scout around and you bring in guys that you think you can develop. And you talking about here buying into. He keeps saying, you know, guys are buying into. Buying into what? Buying into disarray. Buying into a defensive scheme that will not ever work at this level. Not against a formidable team. Next week, unfortunately, you are going against the hottest, baddest running back in the league right now. And there's no doubt in my mind that this guy's not going to rush for over 200 yards, period. And you look at
right, real quick
that. Go ahead, Mike. What you say?
Yeah, Mr. Andy Steve did bring up the point that Zach was the OC for the University of Cincinnati, but that was under Tommy Tuberville, who was a joke of a human being and a coach, so that doesn't really count either.
University of Cincinnati. Okay, University of Cincinnati. Correct me. University of Cincinnati for 1 year. Okay, UC, a football powerhouse.
And he failed.
Yeah. So he
failed.
Hey,
wait a second, Joe. Don't be making fun of UC. They're ranked 7th in the nation. Where's Washington?
They're kicking ass right now. They're way ahead of us.
Where the Huskies ranked, Joe? Don't be bragging on the Bearcats just as your Dodgers and Lakers won it all.
I still say you put UC right now, and you bring them in, and we'll kick their ass right now. You know,
whoa!
Yes,
you're getting a little crazy,
Joe.
Yes,
Joe. This ain't the 1985 Huskies that are showing up to play them, and it definitely ain't the 85 Bearcats.
No, it ain't. No, they're no disrespect. They're a better team. I don't think I know you guys are happy. They're not a top 10 team. You can't tell me they can compete with
Joe,
SEC and Big Ten.
Come on, Joe.
You put UC and SEC right now in the Big Ten, and you telling me they're going to be the top tier team right now?
Yeah. I would. In the Big Ten, I think the only team that would be better than them's Ohio State. In the SEC, Alabama would be better. I think UC defensively is very good, and I think Luke Fickell's better than about any coach in the country.
Yeah, great coach. It's kind of the taste. We'll come back and we'll do a show bye week since we don't have to talk about our awful Bengals.
No, we're doing a show tomorrow about college football now, Joe.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad you guys.
Hey, I don't think UC is a top 10 team either, because I don't think Desmond Ridder is that good of a quarterback. Yeah. I think the defense is a top.
The kid from Wyoming is going to be when Ridder leaves. He's the real deal.
High school career. Yeah.
He ought to be the starting quarterback right now. I saw that kid play in college. He's pretty good. Or in high school, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right,
we got Princeton Vikings going to UC too.
Oh, nobody cares about the Princeton Vikings. They always get beaten in the playoffs. If the players were buying in, he would with more of an attitude. Do you think, or do you guys think this team plays with an attitude? I do. I think it's a defeatist attitude. What do you think, Joe?
I think you have players on offense. I think Joe Burrows goes out and plays with an attitude. I think Giovanni Bernard, definitely Joe Mixon. Those guys bring fire. 83, he plays with desire. So when you have to have an attitude. You have to have a team attitude. And right now it's dispersed. You have Tyler Boyd, you have, AJ Green, give him the ball. AJ, every week he's going to get better. He's getting back to his form. Is he going to be AJ of 3 years ago? No, he's an older guy. But is he still going to make a difference? Absolutely, yes. But when you look on the defensive side of the ball, there is no swag, there is no pep, there is no step, there's nothing. It's a total defeatist attitude. You go on the field. When you looked at those guys, and you look at those guys that when they came on the field, Ty, with 1 minute and 6 seconds, it was you didn't run onto the field and you didn't see guys, minute and 6, let's go. You see none of that. It was went on there. It was nothing. They threw a little dump pass here. There was no rallying to the ball. There was nothing that you need in this league to compete. Defensively, Joe's gonna keep us in the game, and if we're fortunate to have Joe Mixon in there, because you understand, we did that last week without Joe Mixon. So you add Joe Mixon to the puzzle. Our offense and our skill guys are gonna keep us in the game with this awful line. Defensively, our defensive line, one of the worst right now. Linebackers, Ty, you got on 55. I told you guys that kid was going to get better every week. That kid, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a different player. And he's doing some things. I see him filling the holes. I see him coming downhill. I see him going sideline to sideline. I'm seeing some things that, with 55, I'm excited about 55 and what he's doing. But we're not playing as a unit. I think defensively, the defensive coordinator is putting us in horrible positions from the call, and we have to go out and athletically try and be these super players because based on the defensive calls that the defense coordinator is making.
A question from Scott Wilson. So, Ty, I'll let you handle that because you're the Scott Wilson psychiatrist. Dalton, his last 2 games showed he has no real talent, and then he put that the Bengals are obviously trending up.
Say that again? I didn't understand. What did he say?
No, it's stupid to say it again, but he said that Dalton, his last 2 games, has showed that he has no talent and that the Cincinnati Bengals are trending up.
Well, with the record, it doesn't show they're trending up. I like that.
Like Scott on the show next week and make him look like an idiot.
I like
He's
Scott.
used to that.
I like Scott Wilson. He's a true Bengals fan, and he's going to be positive. And as a true fan, it's kind of hard, right? You want to believe. I want to believe.
But see, this is my problem with most Bengal fans. Most Bengal fans are going to hate on Andy Dalton how bad he is. They hated on Marvin Lewis and wanted him fired. They replaced Marvin Lewis. The guy a year and a half later that they replaced him with has 3 wins. And now there are Bengal fans that want to get rid of him, and I think most of them do now. But there's still that same core of people that wanted to get rid of Marvin Lewis that think Zach Taylor is doing just fine. And the same people that thought –
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I hate to tell that, but I'm just saying there is that core group. And the problem is, I mean, it doesn't matter who's coaching it. Poop's poop. It all stinks. And it all comes back. And that's why I'm not paying for tickets. I don't buy Bengal stuff anymore. That's why I got a UC hat on, even though they're not a top 10 team. And Joe hurt my feelings. But when I look at it, this is pretty much just generally beating your head off the wall constantly. Nothing's ever going to change, and it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, unless they'll go out and spend money on a coach. You go out and get Eric Bieniemy. If you want to get a retread, get Mike Zimmer. He's a good football coach. But if you're serious, you get one of those 2 guys, or you do this. You really want to get interesting. You hire Bieniemy as the head coach, and since he's never been a head coach before, you bring in Mike Zimmer as the defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
That.
I think that there are a lot of coaches that are in the league that by their name would command the respect, and you definitely like Zimmer. Zimmer demands respect. Zimmer has control of his team. I don't think his team up in Minnesota is as talented as
They got old.
What's that?
They got old, especially on defense.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that would be a good pick. We, you have to get if we're going to continue to have a non-scouting department, then you're going to have coaches that can develop players. You got to find. Are you going to find a McNally? No, but there are formidable offensive line coaches that that are in this league. And they have developed players. You look at New England, how Tom Brady. Of course, it was Tom Brady, but he had a patchwork offensive line, and he was going to the Super Bowl.
They had Skarnecki, who was the offensive line coach, who's one of the best in the business.
So I'm saying in this league, and as much as I'm on and I say these guys are terrible, they're terrible based on the NFL and the competitive nature of the NFL. So I can say no beyond a shadow of a doubt. When I'm talking about terrible, I'm saying here I'm comparing these guys to NFL guys. All of these guys in the league in college were some kick-ass players. You're not getting here. If you didn't kick ass somewhere. The thing is here when I first came in the league everybody was up here. Obviously I see there was Anthony Munoz, but everybody was big, everybody was fast, everybody was strong. And then as I got acclimated to the game, the NFL game, now year 3, 4, okay, here, I didn't think Tunchio was as good as I thought he was when I was a rookie. There were some guys, here, Terry Long was good as advertised. That was a battle. I got 1 year to run against a stone wall and John Hanna and realized that everything that I ever read about him was true the first time I went against him. So you look at these things and then once you develop, you're able to see here now. I would love to go against a Bobby Hart. Please let them start Billy Price. You can imagine.
You mean right now, too, don't you, Joe?
Yeah, man. I mean, you have some teams that
He's coming out of retirement.
Oh my God! Please let this guy block me. And you can once you develop your NFL game, and that's what the Bengals are not good at. You can say, okay, these guys are flop. All these guys first flop. First of all, they're not developed. They're not able to grasp knowledge of this game by the players. You look at when Willie, now Willie's a really good friend of mine. Here, Willie, in my opinion, should be in the Hall of Fame.
Coaching, he should be coaching.
Correct. Yes, yes. But you look at when younger guys are coming in, and with him, you think they didn't learn from Willie? They didn't. You think here these guys coming and seeing Anthony Munoz and Max Montoya in year 10 out there an hour after practice, practicing karate, hand and eye coordination movements, and this guy's Hall of Fame. What is it? Practice has been over an hour and a half. So that matters. That matters when you go in. Here, young guys, you want to be the first one, last one in the locker room, and first one to leave. You're not sitting up here and you're thinking why is this guy in there working so hard? Why is he, going studying? This game, you have to study and learning the game. And I don't think that that's happening down there. And I say that if it's happening, it's not happening in a good way because what they're showing on the field is not indicative of someone who has studied the Cleveland Browns. This second time you played Cleveland Browns. So here their hurry up offense has been the same. They changed nothing. You know, they came and they attacked you the same way, you know, and they went at your weaknesses. And like Mike said, you came in, you had one safety high, you know, these guys had no timeouts, none, you know, make them throw in the middle of the field, you know. So you look at those things and, you know, it's just unfortunate how many players have to come through this organization and are not formally trained or formally given the opportunity to learn from a Whitworth. Even if you just kept Whitworth and you didn't think he was worth a squirt of piss, just what he brought to the table, his knowledge of the game, his work ethic, the person he was off the field, all that makes a difference, man. It makes a difference. It's not just football. All those things make a difference, you know, Ty, Mike. It makes a difference. And you don't see who's a leader. Tell me one leader on that offensive line. Tell me one. You know, here your leader is the 23-year-old kid, you know, who's learning this game by himself, who is on fire, you know, but he doesn't have experience. He's learning on the run. You know, and God hope that you know that he's able to stay healthy, and you know we as Bengal fans will be able to see the match. Imagine him year 4. Look at what he's done in 6-7 games. Imagine him in year 4, healthy. It's scary. It's scary.
Scary for me to imagine whether we'll re-sign him about year 3 to try to keep him, and Mike Brown will pay that money.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But we'll get to that bridge when we cross it. All right, Bengals, Titans, Ty. Who you got?
I can't go with the Bengals this week. They've got too many offensive linemen out. They've got their backups in. Joe Mixon's not going to play. William Jackson looks like he is going to play, which is better because I think Phillips didn't do very well, except for that interception. Sims isn't getting the job done. I think Henry's going to have a field day on this run. He's going to score a lot. I'm saying it's going to be Titans 35, Bengals 21.
All right, Joe.
You know what? I'm looking at it, and unfortunately, Bengal Nation, we're gonna have to suck it up and try and continue to breathe for another week. Get through this bye week. I think our offense. I think Joe is going to make some plays, but I think he can make some plays against these guys. I think he will make some plays against these guys. The fact that we do have some linemen out, and the fact that we're not going to have Joe Mixon, I don't see us scoring more than 3 touchdowns and maybe a field goal, 20. So I'm giving us 24, but I'm looking at that beast in the backfield. I'm looking at their star wide receiver.
He might be out. He might be,
because I was going to say he's so big and strong.
I think it's Jackson. I think I don't know if he's going to play in this game or not. He was out.
If he doesn't play, it lessens the beating. But I just think that they're going to control the clock.
I do too.
I think they're going to control the clock based on Henry. And I see 38-24 at the best, at the closest. Unfortunately, Bengal Nation.
Yeah, I think.
All right. Let's get.
I think what you got is what's been waiting to happen. I'm going to say 45-7 Titans. You've got maybe the best running back football right now. And hell, there's a case to be made that Ryan Tannehill's the best quarterback in football right now.
Man,
I would make that case because I still love Russell Wilson. But, I mean, right now, if you had to rank him through season, I would put Ryan Tannehill at number 2 or 3 right up there with Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. And the thing that's scary is they like to throw the play-action pass of a successful run game. If you want to have a successful run game, you play the Cincinnati Bengals. On top of that, I don't care if they're not playing with their number 1 receiver. Tannehill will still throw for 300. Hill or Henry will run for 200. It is unless they decide to just take the second half off and play the backup. So I think this is going to get ugly. What do we got next week? A bye week?
Bye week and then the Steelers, baby.
Why would you say and then the Steelers, baby?
Wow.
Like it's positive.
You know what I mean?
It's still Steeler week. It's still
Nothing
Steeler
good
week, man.
is
It's still Steeler week.
I'll know they're playing the
Steelers will
Ravens.
beat the hell out of
Maybe
Yeah, so
We may
what'll
have
happen is they're
Ravens
undefeated.
game, Joe.
They're undefeated.
Yeah.
They're undefeated. They're going to go to Baltimore. Baltimore's going to beat them in a close game. Then they're going to be all pissed off, and then the Bengals play them. That's how that works.
I mean,
2 weeks.
yeah.
We got 2 weeks before we
Yeah,
play.
so if we can get a couple guys back, I think no doubt in 2 weeks I'm going to look at us in a more favorable light. The fact that it's still Steeler week, hopefully we'll have Joe Mixon. Hopefully we get a couple guys healthy, and just based off of that, it's gonna go down to the wire. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get healthy. Hopefully we just don't get obliterated next week, and they hurt.
Nobody gets hurt.
We get a couple. Yeah, nobody gets hurt.
Hey guys, remember this. Pittsburgh beat Tennessee, and you said Tennessee was going to kick our ass, but yet we're positive about 2 weeks from now the Pittsburgh Steelers because Bobby
Steelers is a different. It's a different bait.
You got to throw out the records, Mike. You got to throw out the records,
guys. No, you cannot throw those out, Joe, because we very rarely beat them.
Yeah, well, I'm going to throw the record out. I'm going to say it's going to be close with Joe Burrows.
That is my Super Bowl, Joe. As long as if we beat the Steelers, man, then
oh my God, yeah,
gosh, that's huge, man. I'm living a.
It kind of sucks to be a fan of a team where your Super Bowls that you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and week 9.
It'd be nice to be a fan of a team where we won the Super Bowl. That would be our Super Bowl.
Oh wow, man, it's tough. That's tough, man. It's tough being a Bengal fan, man.
It is, Joe.
You know what? Hey, we talked about our sponsor, Manscaped. Do you think that Zach Taylor's even old enough to use a product like that yet, Joe?
This is going downhill.
It's getting rough. He's he's in a tough position right now, man.
He's got to coach football and he doesn't know how.
Yeah, man, it's tough. And I think that the bad thing is that you don't see it getting any better. You don't see, you don't know if that's a light at the end of the tunnel or that's a train coming at your ass.
All right, and Trevor Lawrence just tested positive for COVID.
Oh, did he? Ooh. Did he? Wow.
Yeah. Now there's a 99.99% chance he'll live. So everybody will freak out about it, but at least he'll be immune, hopefully, when you get to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You think Dabo got him sick when he playing Boston College this week? He figures that way he won't get sick later in the year when they need him.
Hey, on another note, fellas, did you guys see my Dodgers? You see my Dodgers, man. 32 years, baby. I shed a tear. I was in my man cave.
Joe.
I shed a tear, man. Say what you want, man. I bleed.
It's a 68 season, Joe. Even the Reds made the playoffs, Joe.
Yeah. Hey, Tampa's coach, he screwed up, man, because Snell had us on the. We could not touch Snell. He should let him go.
He didn't screw up. He completely lost in the series in that move.
That was he lost it right there because I don't think we would have hit him even if he went another inning. But thank God he was he outsmarted. He Pete Carrolled and outsmarted himself.
Game 6 to the World Series, Joe. He had the kid ready for opening day next year. He can't leave him in too long.
Wow. Think about that, man. So thanks to their head coach that. We're Dodger Blue, and that trophy is back in Los Angeles, baby.
Joe, I'd feel the same way
Thanks
if the Bengals ever made the Super Bowl. A tear would shed. It'd be
a tear. Definitely. I think a tear would shed. I would drop a tear if the Bengals ever did that, but I might
be dead before that happens, but everyone's going to have a dream. You feel me?
I've seen the Bengals in the Super Bowl twice. They didn't win either one of them, and they ended up in tears. So,
Jerry Rice.
Yep. That was that's
Lewis
tears myself.
Phillips.
Yeah, shed a couple tears myself, man. So,
Lewis Bentley Wilson and Tim Crumrye's leg. That sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
Tim Crumrye. That was
Who would ever thought? Who would ever thought, man? But that's Bengals, man. So
so many things went wrong in that game, and the Bengals still should have won the damn game.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Joe, when you go back and watch that game all the way through, there's like 8 instances where if you just change one thing that happened, the Bengals probably win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right, guys.
Good deal.
We'll be back next week. I guess. Wednesday or Thursday, guys. Or we can do Monday or Tuesday or whatever day you guys want.
Just let me know what's open, man.
Yeah, let me know. Wednesday's good. Thursday, it doesn't matter.
All right. We'll do Wednesday night at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Yes.
Okay.
Now I can go to bed now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we got to
All right,
be
guys.
trained.
Remember, check out Manscaped, pro code TGT20. And for now, for Ty Robbins, Joe Kelly, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening and watching to The Grueling Truth and Speak.
Right, man.